everyone, my name is Velky and welcome back on the Velky Extra channel, and today I have a new commentary video for you guys. It's going to be a little bit different than usual, but before we get in, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already yet, and leave a comment of a topic that you'd like me to talk about or cover in a future video so that I can list them down and we'll go through all of them in the upcoming weeks. But for this video, we're gonna do something different. We're not gonna actually talk about a topic, but instead we're gonna react to your comments from the previous video, how I actually became a femboy. Let me know in the comments if you like this style of video as well, where I just react to your comments, because I honestly really love reading your comments on the previous video. A lot of you guys were super sweet. Some of you guys left like topic ideas, but some of you guys also gave really wholesome answers, but also some of you guys told about your femboy experience, or even in some cases trans femme experiences. So I think it's really cool to read through these stories, and I think maybe we should go through them together. Of course, a small disclaimer that I won't be able to go through every single comment, but because I think there's over like 100 comments that you guys left, and if we would do that, it would be a pretty long video. So I'll be trying to cut everything up a little bit, and for the other ones, I'm sorry, but you can always leave a comment in this video and maybe I'll cover them in a future video. So make sure to just keep commenting so that there's a good chance that maybe in the future I'll be reacting to your comment as well. Anyway, with that being said, we have our first comment from Abgatos, which is a topic idea. They said how to find femboy clothes and what places to avoid when finding them. Now this is a video topic that I think is very interesting, but it's something I might want to do for like a longer video instead of like a short reaction video. I'm not so sure like how much I know about finding femboy clothes. My good TLDR about the femboy clothes is that Amazon is a pretty decent site, but unfortunately sometimes there's some products on Amazon that are considered like drop shipping stuff. So it's just third-party companies that are just buying them stuff in from China and then selling them to you for like way more expensive. If you see a product that if they reappear across multiple websites multiple times, it's a drop shipping product. So it's usually something you would want to avoid because they're also usually pretty low quality. I don't really know an exactly good website. Amazon has always been kind of like trustworthy to me. Sometimes there's some products that I like to double check on Amazon to make sure that they're not drop shipping items. And sometimes I just like to go out. If you don't have the limitation of online, you can always go out and go to your local clothing store and go to the women's section. There's a bunch of clothes there that is actually just in the femboy section because surprise femboy clothes is feminine clothes, and feminine clothes can be found in the women's section. So there is a obviously link to certain things. You can find pretty simple women's clothing in the women's section and clothing stores, but if you can't go outside, I'd say Amazon is a pretty good starter point. There's some other websites out there that I don't really know about too much to be able to really give a judgment, but I would like to maybe leave the more detailed version for a separate video where I actually look into these websites and maybe do some proper research for you guys before I give you some recommendations. But so far, these are my general rules of finding clothing online. If it's like a drop shipping website, you're probably best to avoid it because they're usually more overpriced than they should be. Amazon is a hit or miss, so Amazon is a good way to go to, but be careful with what you buy because sometimes these items can also be overpriced. If you see thigh highs for like 25 euros or 20 euros or stuff like that, and they're just plain black thigh highs, they better be some good fucking thigh highs. You know what I mean? Like that should not be 20 euros. A pair of thigh highs should be at least like 5 euros, maybe 10 at best. Be smart, think about it, but I'll definitely make a future video about this, and I think I'll probably go more in detail and have a bit of more research before I go into it. Cool topic, thank you very much. We're going on to the next one. I've been talking about this for 5 minutes. Lewis says, Velky's story really speaks to me. In my experience, I spent all my childhood suppressing myself in public to avoid scrutiny, and I didn't feel free until I became an adult. This is why the community is so important. It shows that we're valid. Thank you so much for telling us this story. It's really cool to know that some of us have some very similar stories, funnily enough, and that's why we also want to support the people in being themselves, right? Coming out and finding out their place in the world. Ding Dong says, can we all just talk about how Mega Bonk is becoming a V commentary game? Maybe it is because you're currently watching a Mega Bonk gameplay. I'm currently playing as Vlad in the background. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not really good at Mega Bonk, but I just like running around and killing things, so hopefully it satisfied your ADHD. Maybe it is becoming the commentary game. You should totally check it out. It's on Steam. 317, it's a timestamp. It's where I talk about a story where I specifically talk about playing with girls' toys and stuff like that when I was a kid. But someone says, okay, not to invalidate femboys, this isn't the case for everyone, but what Velky is describing here is practically the exact same as a ton of different stories from trans femmes, including myself. And that's cool. And I actually responded to this comment already because I thought this was such a cool comment, and this is what I said. The cool thing here is exactly what the freedom of expression looks like. With both the trans community and the femboy community, we both have similar experiences, but some eventually become trans, whereas others are femboy. It's the beauty of self-expression and how you're able to find yourself in similar experiences. It's not invalidating anyone, it's simply to show that we're all human, everyone has an identity that fits them no matter where they come from, and they're all valid. It's very possible that these experiences can overlap. You know, mind you, everyone has the same experiences, everyone perceives it differently, and so everyone turns out differently from it. It's just how it is. That's how it is like to be human. And that's basically what I thought about it. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think this is a very interesting case because I saw that some of you guys also in the comments said, but what if I'm trans femme instead of femboy? And I just like you to know that it's totally okay and valid. So it says most content is so empty online now. That's why I love Velky. I always come back to one of his videos to make me feel better. Oh, you guys are so sweet. This is so cute. Sorry, cuteness aggression. Yeah, no, you guys are just really sweet. I thank you so much for leaving such sweet comments. It really gives me a lot of motivation to just keep making more videos. But honestly, I just love reading them. You guys really make my day so much better by just seeing these sweet comments from you guys. I just love it. Thank you very much. Someone says, what is your skincare / shaving routine if you have either? The shaving part, I mean, I might be lucky with the jeans. I actually don't really get a lot of body hair. The most I get is like maybe a little bit on my face. But like my legs, my body, my arms, pretty hairless. My hair is really, really thin, so it's really hard to see. I know some of you guys are just gonna go into comment section like, Velky, you lucky motherfucker, how could you? I have to shave like everything. Okay, I know, guys, I'm sorry, okay? Like, you don't have to, don't crash out, I'm sorry. I can't help it either that I had these jeans, okay? No, it's not my fault, man, don't blame me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, if I could help you, I would. Shaving routine, I do shave sometimes, I guess, and what I like to do is I shave under the shower and make sure that you always use shaving cream if you shave. Make sure that you use body lotion afterwards to moisturize your skin. It really helps out. That's the best advice I can give you when you're shaving. And then the skincare routine, I have a pretty complicated skincare routine, to be honest. I like to use a 5-step skincare routine. I like to use a cleanser and then a toner and then an exfoliate and then I use a hydrate and then I use a cream. So those are 5 products I use from first to last. If you want to know the products, I could make a separate video about this with a longer detailed explanation about skincare for myself. I think this is a very interesting topic that I think I would like to make maybe into a longer video. I just realized that I've been yapping about this for like more than 5 minutes or 6 minutes in this recording. Anyway, and here's future Velky because past Velky totally forgot to mention something. There is a new mouse pad now that we are selling on Vtuber Market. Make sure to check out the link in the description. We have new Velky mouse pads. If you want to get yourself one right now, you get 2 for 1 because there's 2 of me on the mouse pads. So that's it's not actually 2 for 1, but you get 2 of me on one mouse pad. That's kind of like the joke, because you know. Anyway, you should totally get yourself one right now. Yay, yay. Anyway, going back to the video, enjoy the video. Bye. Someone else said, thanks for sharing, Velky. Very validating when you described your journey and the person you were destined to be. Thanks for being a great person and content creator, and thank you for sharing. I think a good idea would be discussing finding your femboy voice. Keep up the videos and sharing. By the way, your 100-hour stream was very fun. I popped it when I could, and you should totally pop in too. I'm not doing a 100-hour stream right now, but I'm streaming on twitch.tv/Velkyan, so you can make sure to stay up to date with all my content and live stuff. I'm probably live right now as you're watching, so you should totally come by. Yeah, you got the link in the description. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. Finding your femboy voice, I don't really know if that's like specifically a different topic, because I think your femboy voice or your natural voice that is supposed to come out of your mouth is technically the voice that you succumb yourself to once you're comfortable with letting the tones go wild. Does that make sense? Like, so when I was quote-unquote straight, not a femboy, my voice sounded more like this. I started talking like this, and I suppressed all of the ways that my voice would sound like, and it doesn't sound like me at all. But that's because that's not really what my voice is like. This is what my voice is like. This is how I'm supposed to sound like. This is how I'm supposed to talk. You know, being more comfortable with myself and just starting to let my voice kind of do its thing based on how I feel and let it change and shape itself rather than trying to change anything using my vocal cords. It kind of like naturally became the way it did. Your voice will come by itself by just the way how you act or you are. You don't really have to do anything, I feel like. And if you're talking about having a higher voice, however, or a more feminine voice, and you want to train yourself to have a more feminine voice, there's a lot of guides on YouTube that help you to have a more feminine voice. Someone said, I kind of became a femboy by accident. Years ago, I was in high school with a lot of creepy boys, very stalky and constantly engaging in unsavory activities towards girls. They were all really hyper-masculine, so I started presenting slightly more feminine to distance myself with them. It wasn't really anything big at first, but it kind of spiraled from there. I guess I didn't help either that my little sister used to dress me up in girls' clothes when we were children. You know, that's kind of cool. It's an interesting approach because I think in high school, I wouldn't be doing that. And also the fact that it helped you find yourself in the future is is even cooler. I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. Next up, we have one of the most important things that needs to be removed is bullying. It helps no one and it destroys so many lives. Absolutely agreed. Unfortunately, I think people always are gonna bully because I think bullying kind of stems from the insecurities of younger people, especially teenagers, because of their own internalized insecurities that they try to project onto someone else. If they see someone that is similar to them, they start bullying that person because they don't want to see that person because they see themselves. Because teenagers just don't really know how to deal with those feelings or to accept themselves for who they are. A lot of bullies are like this. A lot of bullies don't do it for the malicious way of bullying or just because they're hateful, but it's because they're insecure. I'm not saying that this is the case for everyone. There's obviously always gonna be people out there that are bullies, that are just generally bullies and terrible people. There's always gonna be outliers, right? I'm not saying that just because one is the case doesn't mean the other doesn't exist, but in most cases, this is how I have seen bullies. And a lot of times bullies turn out to no longer be bullies once they grow up, once they become older and are able to deal with their own insecurities and realize who they are. And at a younger age, generally, it's just harder to do, especially to be yourself because you're in a space where you're stuck in this little like peer pressure area where everything you have to do has to follow the large group of popular kids, because otherwise you don't fit in. So you don't even try to be yourself. You know, there's multiple reasons why someone can become a bully, and it's kind of crazy to think about it. But unfortunately, the sad thing is that I think due to that, bullies will always exist. It's almost as if it's human nature. But hopefully one day, hopefully we can make the world a better place. Someone says, maybe you can talk about your relation with hypersexualization of femboy and how you feel in this big femboy community where it's weird, and how did you find safe people / community if you did? Hypersexualization of femboys I've talked about for many times, and I think it would be cool to just leave that for another video because I have a lot to say. But when it comes to my community and my safe space, it's because I set boundaries ultimately. I sometimes do sus things and I sometimes make lewd jokes. Sure, that's me being an adult. But in some cases, I like to make more friendly content that's watchable for everyone. And also at the same time, I keep my boundaries, you know? I keep my boundaries when it comes to what people can say to me or they shouldn't say to me and things I'm comfortable or uncomfortable with. Next comment is from Clockfox. Daily reminder to be yourself. Doesn't matter what John, Jane, or Driss stupid things or says. All that matters is one's own mental health and pursuit of one's comfort in one's identity. We're surely proud and happy for you learning to find and accept your identity or fluidity of it and to embrace your liking of femininity, being feminine, going against certain lines of roles, expectations, and assumptions of what a boy or person in general should be. Stay strong, sun creature, and happy how far you have come. Thank you so much, Clock. It's such a sweet comment. Ah, you guys are so nice. Thank you. That's really kind. I'm glad that my stories are able to help you guys out as well. I'm glad that you guys are inspired. Find yourself through my stories, which is awesome. It's really cool. Thank you. Someone says, W topic, your opinion on cheese. Cheese is cool. I like cheese. I think cheese is pretty yummy. I like brie cheese. That's one of my favorite cheeses. And I like Parmesan cheese. Gouda is okay. I know that's like a Dutch cheese and I'm Dutch and shit like that, but Gouda is okay. If some of you motherfuckers is gonna make a brie the joke because I said brie, I will ban you off my channel. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm watching you. Anyway, next comment. This might be a slightly longer comment. Hearing you speak about some of the things you felt when you were younger kind of echoes some of my own childhood experiences. My high school years are ones I'd rather forget about, and if certain people back then knew I liked guys, then those bullies would have yet another reason to make my life a misery. I was glad to get away from the place after my 2 final years. I've never been the most masculine of guys, and that's putting it mildly, so when I finally came out as bi, my mother's response was, I've been wanting to ask you about who you like since you were about 19, and I'd always suspected. She knew. Wait, that's awesome. Wait, that's really cool. My closest friends had suspected for years, and I let my personality show all of it. I love cute stuff, and I'm not afraid to admit it. You can never have too many plushies, for example, as long as you have the space for them. Even my fairly conservative dad accepted me who I am as soon as my mom spoke about him with it. Thanks for speaking about your life experiences and what has led up to now, as it was really interesting. Thank you so much, Yana. That is such a cute story. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's awesome to see that your family was so accepting of you. Someone else said, very relatable, especially the part about suppressing feelings and emotions. Like, I was convinced that I was just a normal straight guy throughout my whole life. Even as a kid and sometimes nowadays, I wasn't able to order anything like ice cream, for example. What? Just because the guy who sold it was pretty handsome in my eyes, and it happened a lot. So yeah, self-delulu can be crazy sometimes. Wait, that's really cute. Wait, I thought that was a different reason behind it, but just because the guy that was selling you the ice cream was really handsome, you couldn't get yourself to buy the ice cream. That's really cute. That's awesome. Someone else said, Ababa, he alive? Ababa, I am alive. Ababa, hello. But that will be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already yet, and check me out on Twitch. I'll probably live right now on twitch.tv/velky. If you watch this video, you can come by and say hi to me. I'm probably playing some games or just talking to my chat, so link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a comment on what you thought about this video if you want more comment reaction videos as well, and other topics you'd like me to talk about. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.